to lead us into the conversation that we're going to have on growth. As we were building out our cyber practice, one of the things that we realized is that being a cyber practice in a CPA firm, we actually had a much broader set of competitors than most people would expect. So obviously there were some other CPA firms that had cyber practices like we did, but we also we competed a lot with what you would think of as boutique firms that they weren't CPA firms, so they couldn't do SOC services or things like that. But they could offer a lot of the other services we were offering: penetration testing, other IT assessment services, risk assessments, all those types of things. And the challenge with a lot of the boutiques is many of them are driven by private equity money. And so they're looking at top line growth. So they're less concerned about margin. And so a lot of times they'll press the price to the bottom and, drive some commoditization. And so when you're trying to differentiate yourself by being the best value for the dollar, that can create, some challenges. And then the other type of competitor we had were technology companies. And in some cases, technology companies, they would say, hey, if you'll buy 100 firewalls, we'll give you a free pen test, and it's hard to compete with free, right? So it required us to look at the business a little differently. And as a part of that, one of the things that we did is we said, we're going to hire some dedicated business development professionals, and we're going to put them out there in the market, specifically representing our capabilities to the broad set of prospects that we have. And David, it worked really, really well. As we put them in the market, and we started we were able to compete very aggressively with those other types of organizations that I mentioned. And of course, very few CPA firms had the business development workforce that we did out there, specifically pressing their cyber services. And so it led to LBMC growing a very significant cyber practice. So that was really my first foray into managing and kind of working with business development in a growth function, but it really had a meaningful impact on the growth of our firm.